Good evening, Pen.
Hello there. How you doing? Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate that intro. You might not recognise me now. I've had a chance to shave that beard off.
Look at you. Look very, very smart. So listen, I want to get you to tell me the story. We want to talk about obviously the last couple of weeks in just a minute. Can you tell me the story of a soldier, a brave soldier who died in Afghanistan called Conrad Lewis and his dog Peg?
Yeah, absolutely. That was back in 2011. I received a phone call. Turned out the guy was called Tony, Conrad's father, and he said to me, "Oh, my son's been looking after this dog out in the area they were in Helmand Province." And he said, we want to know, can we get this dog back? And I said, well, yeah, sure, no, it shouldn't be a problem. We'd rescued quite a few dogs from Helmand by then as a charity. And I said, I need to have contact with your son, though. I said, it's great talking to you, but I need to have contact with your son so we can actually, make this possible. And that's when Tony told me that his son had actually been killed in action just 2 weeks earlier. And it was just obviously the guys of that regiment. It was actually the parachute regiment who were looking after this little dog called Peg. Obviously I choked up on the phone and I made a promise there and then to him to get the dog out, not knowing whether I could actually do that. And in the end, we had the dog smuggled in the back of a Chinook helicopter. The guys just popped the dog down inside their combat jacket, ran up the back ramp. That little dog was taken to Camp Bastion, and from there they used the same trick again to get the dog up to Kabul. And that's where we had Peg into our shelter, and obviously went through all the vaccinations and the proper procedures to then get Peg obviously into the UK. And I'm so happy still to this day when I talk to Tony, I can hear little Peg in the background barking away.
Well, I've got someone on the line. You know what journalists are like. They're pretty sneaky. They like to spring surprises. I've got someone on the line who wants to say thank you to you. Is Mr. Tony Lewis there, please?
Yeah, I am indeed.
There you go. There's Pen Farthing. I think you owe him a debt of gratitude. Tell us, how is Peg, by the way? I know he's not with you at the moment, but tell us.
No, Peg's fabulous, thank you, and thank you, Pen. You know how grateful we are for that. Peg's fabulous. She's now 12, nearly 13 years old. She's got a lot of grey hair, a grey face. She doesn't look like that anymore. But she's in great condition. She's still a guardian of the household, leader of the household. Yeah, she keeps a good 200-meter perimeter, Pen, that's for sure.
But very special, but very special for you, Tony. I would have thought because, Peg is a sort of tribute and a reminder of your brave son.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Conrad came home at Christmas. He'd got lots of stories about Peg. He got lots of pictures of her as well. And sorry, that shot's about. And he got us to make a promise to bring her back. And effectively that was our job. He was out there fighting the Taliban and doing his thing, and he just said, "Look, this. I've heard of a guy who gets the animals back. So let's try and do that." Obviously, once Conrad had been tragically killed, we thought about that and what we could do to honour his wishes. And by sheer chance, 2 weeks after he died, we got to know Penn's details. He'd been given a lecture in a Dogs Trust venue, and I got in touch, and as you heard, Penn and I had the conversation.
It's a fantastic story, and because of it, you've set up a charity called 353, which was Conrad's number. Was he the 353rd person to die in Afghanistan? And you've worked with Penn. Penn, tell us about 353 and how they've helped you.
Well, I was going to say, when you said about Tony thanking me, I mean, it's us who needs to thank Tony's wife, Sandy. Their 353 charity has just been unbelievable in the amount of money they've raised for military charities. I honestly don't know how the two of them do it. But they've helped fund our intern program at Nowzad. So young Afghan vets coming through to actually be the future generations, out there fighting rabies, out in the streets, out in the provinces. And 353 have been paramount in helping us do that work, and so much so that actually our clinic wasn't called the Nowzad Clinic, it was called the Nowzad Private Conrad Lewis Clinic. And that was a huge honour. The day that we put the plaque up at our clinic, with Conrad Lewis's name on it. And for us, the last few years, all those vets who have come through, that's been one of the legacies from Conrad. Not only was he here and obviously providing security in Afghanistan, but also this legacy of his will live on, in whatever form Nowzad now takes, because, we're going to take that name with us. We're not just leaving it behind.
Well, explain, Penn, if you can, about the special, because of course your story really dates back to when you formed a friendship with a local dog that you called Nowzad. So it's very much reflective of Conrad's story. Tell us why, soldiers there, and you've also repatriated lots of dogs to the soldiers that knew them in Afghanistan. What's so special about these dogs to soldiers? Why do these relationships form? What did it mean to you?
For me, it was just the normality. We had this craziness going on around us. The Taliban hit us every single day, whether it be with mortars or small arms fire back then. And just being with this dog was just this little bit of normality. I always said Nowzad was like my magic carpet. I used to just sit with him and I was just whisked away to somewhere else for 5 or 10 minutes. And I wasn't in that just chaotic, desperate situation of basically a fight that was just never ending. And so for me, I understand people come home from work, everyday work from the office, they're stressed out, they take the dog for a walk, they chill out, life is back to normal again. And that was the same for me. And I'm the same for every soldier who's ever rescued one of these dogs or a cat. It's just that 5-10 minutes of normality. They're just with that animal, and the animal's showing them friendship, they're showing the animal friendship. And that's what it's all about.
Absolutely. Tony, can you just quickly tell us, we know full well what Penn thinks about the Americans and their sudden withdrawal and the abandonment of Afghanistan. What did you think about it? What do you think about what Penn had to do, which was caused, of course, by basically the West abandoning that forlorn country?
Yeah, I think, first of all, a shocking abandonment of everything that had been achieved for 20 years. This is the largest ungoverned space on earth into which people can choose to do whatever they wish to do. And for 20 years, we'd managed to give these people hope that was personified by what Penn was doing with Nowzad. That was actually, for me, the greatest symbol of change in Afghanistan and what our soldiers had achieved for 20 years. And the ability to see, female Afghan graduate vets working in his practice, looking after soldiers' dogs that were then being adopted by not only soldiers abroad, but by Afghan people. And, there were some absolutely fabulous people out there. And that's why, the project still to get Penn staff back is paramount. For me, it's just further vindication of what our guys did. If we can have a final victory, which we seem to have lost so easily in these last few months.
Well said. Penn, it was amazing that you got the dogs and the cats back. But as Tony just mentioned, I assume you probably don't want to go into too many details because the situation's fragile, but I assume you're still working round the clock to try and get your staff and their families out of Kabul.
Absolutely, yeah. We haven't had a celebration yet that I'm back or the dogs and cats are back. That's on hold. The team that we had, which is absolutely an amazing team, they're still on full time, 24/7, and we're working on plans to get the staff out as best we can. And we're not going to stop until that happens. The mission was always, Operation Ark was people and animals. So we've got halfway there, but we haven't finished it yet. So we're going to keep going until we get our people safely out.
Tell us your feelings when that plane had to take off without your staff, without their families, pretty much full of animals, but empty of people. There was something kind of just tragic about that.
It was just desperate, Kevin, to be totally honest. I had them into that airport, and obviously they were turned away at gunpoint due to paperwork. And you just got to think about that, everything we went through to get into that airport, and they got turned away by the Taliban because of paperwork. And as Tony said, this is now one of the most ungoverned spaces in the world. Yeah, our team were turned away because of the paperwork wasn't correct.
Beggars
it's
belief,
just crazy.
doesn't it?
When I
Beggars
sat
belief,
there,
doesn't it? Beggars belief.
yeah, it does. Absolutely. I was just sat on that flight and I said there was no joy, there was no, happiness. It was just, right, what do we do next? How are we going to get these people out? When can I get back onto, data so we can get in touch with the team to start, carrying on that work? It was, and we haven't stopped, like I said, and we're not going to stop till we get them out.
Uh, are they okay at the moment? Presumably you're in touch.
Yeah, we speak. We speak every day. Tonight, apparently, Kabul's erupted in gunfire tonight because apparently the Taliban have now basically assigned a new president to the country. So they sent me loads of videos of all the gunfire that's going off this evening. But the staff are terrified. They are absolutely terrified of obviously what is now about to come in the coming days. And there's nothing I can say. I keep telling the team back here are working so hard, but it's just my words. So I need to prove it to them when we actually get them out safe.
Well, I think if anybody's going to get them out, you will. Are you in quarantine at the moment, mate?
I am. Yeah, I'm in Norway, so I'm. I've done 3 days of quarantine. PCR tested out into home quarantine now.
Right.
So I'm with my wife finally. So we're in our home here in Oslo. And then as soon as I can, then I'll be on a flight getting back to London, so we can get stuck back into obviously the rest of it actually being in the right place.
Just a final thought, really, Penn. We're just running out of time. Thanks so much for joining us. And once again, you are a hero, and the people of this country are right behind you. All of our listeners are. Don't worry about what the papers did over the weekend. I just thought it was extraordinary, and it didn't work. It didn't work. And by the way, if I was on that runway talking to that guy from the MOD, my language would have been a lot worse than yours. So again, I wouldn't even think about that. Just a final word. Just reflect on this past extraordinary 2.5 weeks. I mean, could you possibly imagine what has unfolded?
Not for 1 minute did I ever think that this would have happened. And then, when I have just sat down and just briefly looked back on it, I do start kind of shaking a little bit. And I get very, very emotional because just everything the staff went through just to be turned away. And like I said, now it's still full on, I think, adrenaline focus. We're still not sleeping. We're up all night, meetings and making phone calls. So when it's over, then I can stop and I think about it. But right now, it's just terrifying to think of the prospect of what they're going to have to live through if we can't get them out.
Well, as I say, if anyone's going to get them out, you'll get them out. I know that. Last point for both of you, really. Give us website addresses, links, or wherever, so people can donate to both of your charities.
Well, for Nowzad, it's www.nowzad.com. And obviously any funds raised go into obviously the rehabilitation of the staff once they get out of Afghanistan. Resettle them here in the UK so we don't take money away from the taxpayer. And also the ongoing costs now with our dogs and cats that did safely make it. So getting them obviously through quarantine, etc. And I'll hand over to Tony for obviously 353, which is an amazing charity, doing a heck of a lot of good.
Tony, your chance now to deliver a link or what's the website address so people can donate?
It's www.353.org.uk. Just one thing, Kevin, if I may, just to add. You mentioned the papers at the weekend. What desperate irony that the Afghan team told Penn to save himself and the animals, and then the UK press, or certain sections of it and certain ministers, chose to actually take that as something that they considered offensive. Yeah. One nation's trying to help, and I found that disastrously ironic.
And the great thing about it, though, it was we know what went on. There was a kind of feeble attempt to smear Penn's name, and boy, oh boy, it did not work. It seriously didn't work. If anything, people loved you even more. Penn, once again, congratulations, mate. You are a hero, and I know you'll get your people out. Thanks so much for joining us. Hope to speak to you again very soon. And thank you, Tony Lewis, the father of hero soldier Conrad Lewis, who died in Afghanistan. I'm Kevin O'Sullivan, and this is Talk Radio.